Well, hello everyone. I'm starting this channel and I'm new to this kind of thing, so you're going to have to work with me. I hope. I hope. I am an 82-year-old female. Lived a lot of life, had a lot of things happen to me. Um, when I was about 2 years old was the first time that I ever had sex, and of course that means I was being raped. And I have written a book about it called The Shame and the Shining by Carol Lee Cousins. And this is available on Amazon for $15. As a result of the trauma, and because it started so young, I ended up developing multiple personalities in order to take or to cope with what was happening to me. And as a result of that, I didn't remember anything until I was in my 50s. And then the memories started coming back. And actually, they're still coming back. They come back in bits and pieces and here and there. So if you have a reoccurring dream, that means something. And I once heard a psychiatrist say there's no such thing as repressed memories. Well, that's not true. And she does a great disservice to those of us who have had that happen. Because when I did remember, there was a family member that could support my recollections. So I'm very, what I really want to do with this is to talk to people about not letting you use trauma to become a victim, because that's your choice. Happiness is your choice, and victimization after you get to be an adult is largely your choice. Not always. There are circumstances people find themselves in. And I don't want to judge those. That's not up to me. But I would like to make sure that this helps other people to perhaps recognize some of the things that may have happened to them that they have repressed, or also to make sure that they don't use their past trauma to remain a victim for the rest of their lives. It doesn't have to be that way. And if you read my book, I talk a lot about that toward the end. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with my book. Yeah, I got to show you. I have these really funny hands from arthritis, and my daughter makes fun of me, so you can do that. I don't care. But anyway, in what I have found is that if you look at your traumas as lessons, which I totally believe they are, and you try to learn from it and to go on and live to the best of your ability, and not, I mean, there are people who love the drama of their trauma, and so they hang on to it with a death grip. It doesn't have to be that way. You can choose, and you do have the power to choose to be happy. Now, PTSD, yes, it's real. I have it. Every now and again, I have a day when I'm sad. I'm sad because of the things that happened to me, and how much different my life might have been had I not had all of that trauma. But then I think about it and I think, but then I might not have learned the lessons I learned. And one of my biggest lessons was to be more generous with people and not to be judgmental. And I try to do that. I'm not always successful. I'll tell you that. But I try not to judge other people's traumas. There are things I do judge, but that isn't one of them. And if you can see my shirt, this is kind of who I am. Humanity is my race. Love is my religion, and peace is my weapon. That being said, sometimes you can be too peaceful. Sometimes you have to fight, because otherwise you can lose an awful lot. But whatever. So, and I also raised 3 successful children. They're productive, intelligent, kind human beings. Funny. They're not without their faults, but then neither am I. And no, I mean, I haven't met anybody perfect ever. So you have to kind of be kind about that with them and kind about that with yourself. Apologize, make amends where necessary. Even with your children, yes, it's okay to apologize to your children. And I have some real definite ideas about child raising. So if you do have any questions, we can kick around what we think about it and how to handle it. One of my major mentors in raising children was A.S. Neal. A.S. Neal ran a school in England. And I don't even know if the book is still in print or not. I'm sure you can get it someplace. A.S. Neal Summerhill. Now, I don't agree with everything he did. He ran a school and he maintained that kids shouldn't have to study things, academic things, that they weren't ready for. I think you have to introduce them. I don't think you can really leave that to them. And one of his things was, if you're going to be a ballet dancer, why do you need to know calculus? Well, if you break a leg, you better know something. May not be calculus, but you better have some kind of an introduction to the things that are going to allow you to diversify and go into something else. Also, just to give you an idea, I don't just sit around on my butt and do nothing. I'm always busy, always have projects. I also pull a 19-foot travel trailer around in the summertime. A little afraid of this summer. I have 2 daughters and I had a son, and he passed away of brain cancer in 2012. So, his partner has become my very best friend. So I lost him, but he gave me the gift of John. So thank you, Todd, for giving me John. So, I have 2 girls, and my 2 girls this summer have got all kinds of things planned. And guess who's going to be taking care of their animals? Got it. Which means my summer might be a little short, but I also have some other things going on that may mean that I don't do as much. For one thing, I've got to have some squeamish cell skin cancer taken off my nose. And all I can think of is traveling around with this big bandage on my nose, or however it's going to look. So I've got an appointment with the plastic surgeon on Wednesday, and I'll find out. But I also belong to something called the Tin Can Tourist, and that's where people take old motorhomes and trailers and fix them up and go to rallies and show them. Our rallies are a lot of fun, and our rallies, I always like to think of them as, it's a place where you can be crazy and a kid, and nobody is judging you. They're just either joining you or happy you're having a good time. And also the creativity of some of these trailers is just amazing. Now, I had an old trailer some time ago, but there were structural things wrong with it, so I had to sell it. And then I got another trailer, which I loved. It was a retro, but I had redone the inside. Really pretty. And I was, let's see, it wasn't last year, it was the year before. I was on my way to see my brother in Cincinnati, and I was on I-75, rush hour near Cincinnati, and one of my leveler bars came off at the car. Now, I don't know how it came off. I had driven that thing out west for 6 weeks and mountains and the whole thing, and no problem. But my trailer started doing a dance behind me and it totaled my trailer, smashed up my car. And I still miss that trailer. I loved it so much. I had it set up just the way I wanted it. So then I got a good deal on another one that a Geo Pro, which is nice. I still like my other one better, even though this one actually has a better bathroom. But it is what it is. I just feel fortunate, A, to have it, and B, to be able to do what I do